Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at 5.
Tonight, the Tallahassee Police Department is asking for your help finding 2 people last seen yesterday morning. Good evening. I'm Abby Maurer in for Jade Balexa. Thanks for joining us for WTXL ABC 27 News at 5. Police are searching for 26-year-old Henry Sutton and 41-year-old Angela Smith. The 2 were last seen yesterday about 11 a.m. leaving the 2500 block of Old Bainbridge Road. A witness reportedly says Sutton hit Smith in the face and forced her into a silver vehicle, possibly a Mazda. Police say Sutton has a violent history and there is concern for Smith's safety. If you have any information, please call the Tallahassee Police Department at 850-891-4200. Florida State quarterback Jameis Winston is cleared in the Student Code of Conduct hearing. The decision was announced yesterday evening as Winston's lawyer took to Twitter. David Corwell's tweet is basically what the former Supreme Court justice gave as his reasoning for not charging Winston. It said, quote, "In sum, the preponderance of this evidence has not shown that you are responsible for any of the charged violations of the code." End quote. Now, the Code of Conduct hearing was to determine if Winston violated the school's Code of Conduct in connection to a 2012 sexual assault allegation. A female student claims the quarterback raped her at his apartment after they left a club called Potbellies. Winston and his lawyer said the interaction was consensual. The accuser and her attorneys have about 4 days to file an appeal. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight on the news at 6. Turning now to continuing coverage on Florida's juvenile justice system. It seems that the state of Florida is on the right track when it comes to the juvenile justice system. The governor's office last week reveals that juvenile arrests are at their lowest level in more than 30 years. And now Congress is now set to consider updating a decades-old law that guides states on the custody and care of juveniles in the criminal justice system. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act was introduced late last week, and one big change would provide incentives to states to lock up fewer children. And joining me now to talk about this act is Christy Daly, the Secretary of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. First off, I want to congratulate you on officially taking over the position. Talk with us more about this act.
Sure. Well, basically, the reauthorization of the act is how we treat juveniles in America. The new additions, I would say, to the act are really focused on looking at racial and ethnic disparities in the juvenile justice system and ensuring that systems have the right services and assessments to work with those young people that are racial and ethnically different. It also looks at gender responsive services and the importance that girls are different and need to be treated differently in the juvenile justice system, along with really focusing efforts on being trauma responsive to our young people. The act also looks at using evidence-based services and really putting money into proven programs that we know work and reduce recidivism. Another big piece of it is really getting away from allowing states to incarcerate status offenders, which is our truant, runaway, and ungovernable. Fortunately, here in Florida, all of these things we already have been doing and have been doing, especially with the status offenders for decades. So, you know, as far as the reauthorization goes, we feel like it's putting into best practice, I think, what many states are already doing across the country. Juvenile justice reform work is certainly a real national movement right now. We've seen great outcomes here in Florida. We have been focused for the last 4 years on really reducing the number of kids that come into our system so we can do a much better job with those youth that do need to be with us. So,
do you think that Florida is kind of setting an example for the rest of the country?
I do. I absolutely do. Florida is very unique in that we have the largest juvenile justice system in the country. Meaning that we've got everything from prevention to aftercare. So we have a unique opportunity that we can really work on reform work, and we know that if we can strengthen local communities and get intervention and early intervention programs, much like the Palmer Monroe Teen Center here in Tallahassee and 50 Large and the use of civil citation, using those types of programs to really keep low-risk offenders, but kids that have high needs. They might have mental health needs, they might have family problems. it allows us to manage our population in a way that we can do better with those young people that really do need to be with us.
Okay, and for people who want to know more information about what you guys do and more about you as well, how can they do so?
They can go to our website, djj.state.fl.us, and we're just looking forward to. I met with Mayor Gillum last week, and we've got a lot of great ideas of how we can strengthen the system here in Tallahassee itself, and just really looking forward to improving the statistics around the state and improving the outcomes for our kids.
We'd love to have you back to talk more about that sometime.
I would love to.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Christy.
you, Abby.
Appreciate it. Well, it's time now for Manhunt Monday. Law enforcement officers need your help finding these most wanted suspects in the Big Bend. Shantavia Williams is wanted for violation of probation on child abuse charges. She's 19 years old, 5'3", and weighs about 100 pounds. And Jim Floyd Jr. is wanted for violation of probation on a felony battery charge. He's 46 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighs about 172 pounds. If you have any information about any of these cases, call 850-574-TIPS. That's 574-8477. We'll put these details up on our website, WTXL.TV, and join us every Monday at 5:05 for Manhunt Monday. In your news across Florida now, a teenager is recovering after being attacked by a bear in Franklin County. The 15-year-old's mother says her daughter has significant injuries to her legs, back, neck, and face. Sherry Mann says her daughter was walking her dog behind a supermarket in East Point. Mann says the dog lunged at the bear, which caused the bear to let go of the girl. Leah Reeder is expected to have surgery. This is the third bear attack in the region this year. In Sarasota, police say 2 people were killed in a bar fight yesterday morning. Investigators don't know exactly what or who started the fight. 4 people were shot. 2 of the victims are expected to survive. A 5th person was hurt by broken glass while helping the wounded. The sheriff's office is investigating. An officer is dead following a shooting yesterday morning in Tarpon Springs near Tampa Bay. Officer Charles Condek was responding to a call at an apartment complex. Investigators say that's where a man fired at the officer before getting into his car and running him over. Condek was a 17-year veteran of the police department. He also served 5 years with the New York Police Department. Neighbors where the shooting took place say they are worried about his family.
I'm glad they caught him because he needs to pay for what he's done to a father who has children and for his wife. I mean, this is wrong.
Governor Rick Scott has voiced his sympathy for Condek and says he plans to attend his funeral. And 11 people have been taken to the hospital with minor injuries in Tampa after a lightning strike in the parking lot near the Buccaneers Stadium yesterday. According to a spokesman, it doesn't appear anyone was directly hit by the lightning. The lightning did, however, kick up rocks and gravel and knock down a few people. By the time EMS arrived, 4 people had already driven themselves to the hospital and another 7 had been taken by ambulance. Former Florida Gators football player Aaron Hernandez was in a court today for a hearing ahead of his murder trial. Today's hearing in Fall River, Massachusetts was expected to be the final one before trial begins. The former New England Patriot is charged with killing Odin Lloyd in June 2013. Hernandez has pleaded not guilty in the case. Without further delays, Hernandez's trial should begin with jury selection next month. Let's check in now with meteorologist Max Appears filling in for our chief meteorologist Cass Noveners. Cass, welcome to Evenings.
Oh, thanks, Abby. Yeah, things looking pretty active overnight as we head into the holiday week here. We're talking about more showers, more storms through Christmas Eve, it looks like. And even though we're starting to wind down this evening when it comes to the amount of coverage we're seeing with the rainfall and storminess, we're still seeing some pockets of active weather, especially as you look out east towards the I-75, I-10 junction. That's where we're seeing plenty of that wet weather, some storms over there as well, stretching from Eccles County southward into Suwannee and Columbia counties and Hamilton as well. A lot of that lightning really embedded in this system here. We're talking about plenty of strikes as well. And this stretching, again, pretty much along the I-75 corridor. That's where we're getting in on the most amount of the heavy wet weather as this time. And it looks like you can count up the strikes, nearly 250 of them over just the last 20 to 30 minutes or so. So a lot of active weather there. And pushing to the north, you see all this gray. That's dense fog advisories newly issued for parts of the area. near the Flint River into Miller County, Moultrie in this as well. This goes until Tuesday morning, and that's because that's where the warm front's going to be placed right over the region. So we zoom this picture out. Yeah, a lot of that wet weather is with us all day long, off and on showers, mostly cloudy skies, pretty much all day long. Temperatures have been plateaued in the upper 50s and low 60s because of the wet weather. And here's what we're going to talk about in your full storm team forecast, how long the storms will be with us. We're also talking about the potential for some severe weather and flooding. And will we be all clear by Christmas? Well, we want to make sure Santa's able to make his way to all the houses around the region safely. So we'll let you know if that's going to be in our forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Abby?
Thanks, Max. Coming up on WTXL ABC 27 News at 5, details about the man accused of killing 2 NYPD officers and what the families of Michael Brown and Eric Gardner had to say about it. But first, always remember you can connect with ABC 27 on our official app. Stay up to date with all the latest local news by downloading the app for free at the App Store and Google Play. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is the Arianas family stationed at Osan Air Base, Republic of Korea. We'd like to wish our family in Defuniak Springs, Florida, a happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
Happy holidays.